Nita Jhummu's City Talk.
It's Monday the 29th of June and not long to go before we have our very own Independence Day here in the UK. On the 4th of July, pubs, bars, restaurants and hairdressers can reopen. Scott Malaugh is the owner of the United Brethren pub in New Richel Street and he joins me on the show right now to discuss. Hello, Scott.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Not too bad at all.
So will your pub, the United Brethren, be reopening on the 4th of July?
Drum roll, yes it will.
Yay! And
Yay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, really excited actually. It's been a long time. Don't get me wrong, it's been actually quite nice to be able to have time to get some work done and some painting and potter around. But I think, the time is nigh. We're ready to go and we've got to start making some money again and putting a smile on people's faces.
Absolutely. So lockdown happened on the 23rd of March, but things were shutting down even before then, probably around the 16th of March. So what happened to yourself? Did you shut on the 23rd or did you shut beforehand? Was it like impending doom? Did you know what was happening?
Well, no, I mean, certainly, if I can be open, I'll be open. Anybody that knows me, they know I'll never scrimp at trying to take a pound or two. So we were here right to the very end when we were allowed. But when they did start shutting things down, it was a kind of we knew it was going to be a domino effect. I kind of knew it was definitely going to happen. So, yeah, but we toughed it out right till the very end as long as we could.
And in the meantime, you've been up to different things, like you said, and you've been doing takeaways, like collection and deliveries, I believe, and your menu looks good. So, yeah. Yeah,
no, we took a week off, and actually we're just sort of deliberating between should we do it, shouldn't we do it, and the chef and myself was kind of like, well, we're just going to be sitting around twiddling our thumbs, so we may as well try to, keep ourselves busy as well. And actually, the local community get bored, so it's playing an active part in just a different way. You just have to move the goalposts a little bit. So, and it kept a few coins coming in.
Your menu does look good. What's the most popular thing on your menu?
Oh, well, I mean, if you take the menu as a whole, I mean, the chef Mark that we have in here, he spent a lot of time out in Australia and Asia and whatnot. So a lot of it, he gets a lot of influences from that type of cooking and eating and whatnot. So I think it's probably the best katsu curry you'll ever have. It's flown out. But I mean, his burgers are awesome. His steaks are awesome. He's just an amazing, he's a talented little magician.
Very nice. And not long to go before 4th of July, so are you ready?
We are almost ready. In fact, as we speak, I'm outside. Well, not actually right now, but we're trying to get some painting done and we're redoing some benches. We've turned our little private car park area into a little industrial sort of size garden, as well as we have the beautiful garden on the other side of the fence. We've built an outside mobile bar, so that if we do get the weather, we'll be able to we can kind of avoid having to work so much inside. So there are some new things that people wouldn't have seen in the pub before, but, we got to adapt to it. So we're ready for it, and we just need to open the doors.
Yeah, there were some rules, obviously, that the government put out about that. So let's talk a little bit about the rules. So, like the first thing, names and addresses, it's for the test and trace system. On the rare occasion that someone was to contract COVID, they want all the names and addresses so people can be contacted. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to do that at the door? Are you going to get the names before people come? How's that going to work?
Well, you'll already have names. I mean, the restaurant business, anyway, will always have people's names and addresses. The pub business is ever so slightly different if you're not a big food pub. So you won't have an online reservation system which will automatically capture the data and whatnot anyway. So you could do it through a couple of different ways. I mean, if you wanted to go all out and have an app that people wanted to pay, wanted to order their drinks from, they'd obviously have to register for that and you'd be able to capture the data that way. But for the small operators, it's not really possible for everybody because you're going to be giving away margins as well because these things cost money. So really, the way I'm going to do it is there's going to be a lovely old-fashioned guest book with hand lotion and everything after anybody signs in, and the guest book will be there for people to write their name and addresses into. It's one of those things that you can't, the onus can't be on us to go, have you signed in, have you signed in, have you signed in, because then you're going to have somebody on the door all the time. I think common sense has to prevail a little bit. And yes, all right, we've all gone a bit stir crazy on social media and whatnot this last 13, 14 weeks. But I think, you know, the majority of us are all very sensible. We're all very grown up. We don't want Boris to apply the brakes, as he says. So I think everybody will use their judgment, sign in, and we'll get on with it. And the information's there if it's needed.
Yeah, and it's a bit ironic because we had the whole GDPR rules come out. So now we have to get the names and addresses when we went backwards from not getting names and addresses.
Does that surprise you that they made a U-turn?
They've done quite a few of those, so not really, I have to say. And will you be keeping the addresses for 4 weeks, like the government said?
Yeah, I mean, if it's done up in a nice little guest book and whatnot, it'll be there for even longer, to be perfectly honest with you. What we'll probably have to do is have a little disclaimer, because we're not chucking a book out at the end of it. Do they mind us keeping it for more than 4 weeks? But we'll just have to cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, the thing to remember is that, you know, we are not experts in learning something 4 or 5 days after the government just fires it out at us. As much as it's a tough job for them to be doing what they're doing and dealing with something, it's just as tough for us to get our heads around it. You know, so certain things are not in our skill set. They won't be, they will be in other people's skill set, and they'll be able to handle it better. I think we're all learning. Hopefully customers, and if there are any officials that come around to check, will show a little bit of leniency as something like that is not done directly through the books. But, you know, we'll have to cross those bridges when we come to it. But we'll be doing our best to make sure that everybody signs in and we keep it all up to date as the way the government wants it done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel a bit sorry for some other industries, such as like swimming pools, because a lot of people were expecting the swimming pools also to be included in the 4th of July reopening. So a lot of owners got their swimming pools ready, did all the cleaning, got all the sanitisers ready, and then, no, that was a no-go. Yeah. And they're saying chlorine kills everything anyway, so...
It does baffle. It does baffle. But who are we to say that we know better?
So are you expecting a surge of people coming to your pub? Because when Primark reopened, there was queues all around the block. So
I hope you're not referring to my establishment as being the Primark of the pubs in Chelmsford.
Oh, no, not at all, Scott.
Listen, I hope that we are busy. I mean, there is an element of it. If it gets too busy, it's not good. You know, so I want people to feel safe, to know that they can come along and have a great time. We will be here serving all the quality beers and the food that we're quite well known for. You know, we'll be policing the amount of people to a certain extent of who comes in. But again, common sense has got to prevail with people and whatnot. So I'm hoping to be busy, but I'm also hoping that everybody comes with a really good frame of mind and actually enjoy it.
Great stuff. And the 1 metre ruling, so it was 2 metres, now it's 1 metre. Yeah. So will it be like, I know you mentioned your garden, and that's like brilliant, so that's giving more space and fresh air, and hopefully the weather will be good. But is it going to be table service only?
It'll be table service only inside, but because I've built a bar outside, you will be able to walk up to the little bar, because obviously it is in the regulations that you can stand or you can order at the bar if it's outside. We will do our very best to make sure that we do table service out there. There will be people, I'm working in this business for an awful long time, people just like walking up to the bar, you know, so you will get people, but that will only be outside.
Okay, great stuff. And you mentioned capacity as well, so are you going to have like a maximum capacity and just keep checking on that?
We will. It hasn't been established just yet. So what we're in the process of doing is finishing the little garden bit off. Then next week, or the rest of this week, sorry, we'll clear all the furniture out and we'll put back in the furniture that we know that we'll be allowed to use. That's, you know, far enough away from people as through the guidelines. And then and only then we'll be able to build the capacity for inside. Because you'll be able to look at it. So if you've only got 30 bums on seats, that's within the regulations. You can only have 30 people in here. Outside, again, it's got to be a little bit more. We'll have to wait and see, because, you know, you'll just be a metre apart. You don't know. It's a little bit up in the air, but we'll use our common sense, as I said.
Yeah, and are you sad about the live music aspect of it? Because you can't. Yes. Yeah, you can't have live music. You can't have any music, can you?
Well, no. I mean, you can. You can have background music on in the pub. as long as it's at a level where you're not asking people to, or people can speak without having to raise their voices. So, I mean, you need a little bit of atmosphere. But yeah, it's a bit annoying because it's been sort of like it's been our major thing, is trying to create this little place into a live music venue or a live music pub over the last sort of 3 years. Yeah, it's a shame because I've got so many musician friends, and I know that these guys, they've got no income as well. So yeah, it's sad, and I hope these guys get to go back to work very, very soon too. But yeah, we'll miss them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And what about the future? Do you think the pub and restaurant industry will be okay? Because we've seen Into Lakeside, like this week, in trouble, in administration. So those shopping centres look like it's a bit, hit and miss, don't know what's going to happen there. What do you think about your industry? Yeah,
I mean, only time will tell. I do unfortunately think there will be an awful lot of casualties that will come out of the woodworks. I think people will try to reopen again. They will maybe have to lay off more staff, some of the bigger companies and whatnot. It's just whether or not they have enough for a rainy day to keep them in business until it comes around. I do think there will be casualties, though. I really do. I mean, I'm hoping we're not one of them. We seem to be in a good position right now, and we're positive. Again, nobody knows.
Mm-hmm. And I have to ask you about your beer. So when you went into lockdown, you must have had beer in stock. What happened to it? Did you have to throw it?
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
Yeah. Did you drink it?
I did a little bit. The two boys that rent the flat upstairs, they and me, we got through the stuff that was on the pipes. The stuff that wasn't reopened, the brewers are very kind and they took it back and refunded it. But the stuff that was in the pipes and in the barrels that were already open, yeah, we kind of disposed of it, should I say.
Oh, cool. And then now you're opening on the 4th of July. Is it a timing thing of when you order beer in?
Yeah, well, I've already done mine. So I've got a big beer delivery coming in tomorrow. Well, I say big, it's enough that I think will do us over this weekend until we can establish what level of trust the people, the local community have in the industry to be able to come back to. Yeah, this week's a big one. Beer's ready to come in tomorrow morning and Tuesday. And yeah. So...
Great stuff. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It's been fascinating to find out how you're going, and it sounds brilliant. And good luck with the reopening of the UB, United Brethren, in New Rittle Street, and hopefully we'll go and see you over there. See you soon.
Look forward to it.
Brilliant stuff.
Guys. Thanks for having us on. It's always nice to come on a local radio station, and it's nice to be asked to come on, so I appreciate it. And keep doing what you guys are doing there too.
Thank you so much. You are very welcome. And would you like a song on?
I tell you, one of my best friends is a guy called Paolo Morena, who is everybody in Chelmsford knows him and farther afield. And he's got one of my favourite songs called Saturday Night, and I think it's very fitting that we play that one because we've got just under a week to go before we open on Saturday night, and he needs a plug as well because he's one of my best mates and he's an amazing musician.
Thank you so much. That's Scott Malaugh from the United Brethren pub in New Rittle Street.
Thanks.